Think of chocolate today. It's solid, sweet, and usually a dessert. But if you were handed a cup of chocolate 3,000 years ago, you wouldn't get a sugar rush, you'd get drunk. This map identifies a village called Puerto Escondido in modern-day Honduras. Here, archaeologists excavated deep stratified deposits, revealing that cacao was being consumed as early as 1100 BC. Confirmation came from analyzing microscopic residues trapped inside ancient pottery. Chemists found theobromine, a chemical marker that, in this region, exists only in the cacao plant. The vessels containing these residues presented a conflict between shape and history. Mesoamerican chocolate preparation is famous for its thick, frothy head, but these earliest containers were long-necked, narrow bottles. This schematic shows why the shape matters. If you try to vigorously whip a liquid inside a vessel with a narrow neck, the agitation forces the liquid to erupt violently out the top. These bottles were designed strictly for pouring. Because frothing was mechanically impossible, researchers concluded these early drinkers weren't using the seeds at all. Instead, they were fermenting the sweet, fruity pulp that surrounds the seeds to create an alcoholic beer known as chicha. The bitter cacao seeds that form the basis of the modern chocolate industry were originally just a discarded byproduct of ancient brewing. Making pulp beer required the cacao pods to ferment, a process that accidentally altered the complex chemistry of the seeds inside. Ancient brewers eventually discovered that these fermented waste seeds, when dried and roasted, could be ground into a paste to create a dark, complex suspension. To prepare this new drink, pottery changed. This middle formative bottle shows the transition. The long, restrictive neck is replaced by a flaring rim and separate spout. That flare provides mechanical space for agitation, allowing a preparer to whip the liquid without it overflowing. In the 16th century, invading Europeans adopted this froth drink, but modified the recipe. They replaced the traditional Mesoamerican seasonings with expensive additives like refined sugar and cinnamon. Just as the shift from alcohol to frothed seeds forced Mesoamericans to redesign their ceramics, the European turn towards sweetened chocolate would create a demand for entirely new hardware. This is the chocolatier, custom engineered by Europeans specifically for serving this Atlantic luxury commodity. Its features were highly specific. It utilized a handle set at a 90-degree angle for precise pouring, and a hinged lid with a distinct hole engineered into the center. That hole accommodated the molinillo, a wooden stirring stick with a ridged head. By spinning the stick through the lid, Europeans could recreate the Mesoamerican froth inside a closed, heat-retaining container. This specialized hardware became a barrier to entry. Because it was required to prepare the drink, chocolate became a gatekeeping symbol of aristocratic wealth. The excess reached its peak in the French court, where aristocrats commissioned 100-piece silver sets dedicated exclusively to their private chocolate service. In the 18th century, the physical pot sitting on a table served as material proof of a family's social standing and economic power. The high prestige of the chocolatier eventually triggered a spike in global demand that silver pots alone couldn't satisfy. Colonial powers responded by establishing massive plantations. These estates relied on slave labor to harvest a crop scale that flooded the European market. As supply increased, prices fell. Smuggling further saturated the market, and chocolate was reclassified from an elite luxury to the cocoa of the poor. With chocolate cheap and accessible, the need for ritualized frothing in silver pots faded. People began incorporating the ingredient into solid and semi-solid baked foods. The legacy of the elite European vessel now survives in our recipes. You can hear it in the name of the dessert pots de crème, or pots of cream. The modern version of this dish uses simple ceramic ramekins to bake bittersweet chocolate, heavy cream, and ancient Mesoamerican spices like chipotle, cinnamon, and vanilla. The 3,000-year history of chocolate isn't only found in texts or chemical residues. The record of our changing class structures and global economies is baked directly into the shape of the pots we left behind.